Hello everybody. Summertime. Summertime in Vancouver, and I'm just hanging on the front lawn. Just finished my rehabilitational exercises and just lounging here. Ooh, so let us begin a little reading session here. What we got? Autosuggestion. Now there is an amazing movement going on. I'm sure you got amazing movements going on in your life too. I just want to say, all right, everybody. We are unified no matter what we're up to. And every weekday morning, 6 a.m. Pacific, I tune in, I dial in through my Skype, and I listen to this live call going on that's based on Think and Grow Rich principles, and sometimes we read the book. Mostly we read the book, but lately there's just been so much inspiration going on. We talk about the principles in our lives, and this was a book written in 1938 by Napoleon Hill. And this version here is the 60s version, which has a few things chopped out of it, but there's still a lot of good juicy stuff in here. I've committed to now reading 10 pages a day throughout the day, or mostly I start in the morning with that call, and then maybe I'll read a few pages along as we go. But then I'm reading at my own pace as well, 10 pages a day. So I'm going to read a little bit to you. Let's talk about autosuggestion. The medium from influencing the subconscious mind. The third step toward riches. And now there's two other steps. One is desire, and one is faith. And this is the third step toward riches. Wait, let's just make sure. Let's just make sure. Oh, pop that in here. Let's make sure what faith, I believe, is, oh yeah, the second step toward riches, and desire is the first step toward riches, right? Okay, yeah, I was right. I got it in there, getting it in my brain, yeah. Autosuggestion is the third step. Now, what is autosuggestion? It is a term which applies to all suggestions and all self-administered stimuli which reads one's mind through the five senses. Stated in another way, autosuggestion is self-suggestion. It is the agency of communication between that part of the mind where conscious thought takes place, and that which serves as the seat of action for the subconscious mind. Through the dominating thoughts which one permits to remain in the conscious mind, whether these thoughts be negative or positive is immaterial. The principle of autosuggestion voluntarily reaches the subconscious mind and influences it with these thoughts. Nature has so built man that he has absolute control over the material which reaches his subconscious mind through his five senses. Although this is not meant to be construed as a statement that man always exercises this control. In the great majority of instances, he does not exercise it, which explains why so many people go through life in poverty. Recall what has been said about the subconscious mind resembling a fertile garden spot in which weeds will grow in abundance if the seeds of more desirable crops are not sown therein. Autosuggestion is the agency of control through which an individual may voluntarily feed his subconscious mind on thoughts of a creative nature, or by neglect, permit thoughts of destructive nature to find their way into this rich garden of the mind. So as you can see here, there is one little plant going on there. There's somebody else going on right there, but this whole area was covered with a lot of, well, we call them weeds, but they were plants with no particular with no particular outcome of delight. And wow, what a difference it makes. See, it was something like this out there, and my housemate who lives in the basement suite went in there and just cleared it out, and then left this little guy, because this little guy has a purpose, and he's a positive purpose. Now, have you ever heard of how the influence of thought can affect the outcome of growth? Man, it is so easy to get off track, I know. And, you know, the most positive people on a down day, it is not easy, you know? So, what we put in our atmosphere is so important. Anything that's going to support our growth is so important. So much to be grateful for, to have a safe, relaxing, calming home environment, place to sleep that feels really good, and, you know, to have amazing opportunities in our life for success. We truly do have all the tools we need in life to grow and to flourish and to be nurtured. And then this like divine rain can pour down and nurture the soil around us and strengthen us even more just to continue. Now, if you're this little plant, you're like, man, I have a purpose, but you know what? I like look like nothing's going on here. I'm just like this little green plant. Well, no, don't be so hard on yourself, or you're just going to self-sabotage yourself. You're not going to grow. You got to like relax and be like, wow, yeah, I see this big, humongous butterfly tree. It's so amazing. It's watching over me. I'm like so tiny, and I haven't really blossomed or bared any fruit. I haven't attracted any butterflies. Got a few ants growing around me. But those ants represent patience. We need to be patient with ourselves. We need to be patient with our self-growth, right? And with Think and Grow Rich principles, we are encouraged to nurture ourselves towards our best self. So the best outcome for this plant would be for him to think about his potential. And his actual potential is going to be fabulous. And more than what it looks like, it's going to be what it feels like. All the 5 senses going on, right? And instead of just daydreaming, he's also enjoying the moment here. And I was listening just to someone in our Bliss Warriors group. We have a Bliss Warriors group on Facebook for women only. And I'll put a link in the bottom of this video. It's an amazing group put out by Dee Vrengia, and yet it's not what do you call it, company specific. It's for all people, for all women, to come in and do 90-day video challenges. So rev up your video vlogs. Hence, there's such encouragement to grow simply by creating your video of enlightenment and encouragement and positivity and self-experience of what's going on with growth in wealth and happiness and healthiness. And so I was listening to Dawn in there today. She caught my attention. I was just sort of scrolling through Facebook, you know how that goes. I was like, whoa! And I pulled out my earbuds out of my MP3 and popped it into my phone, because I was like, wow, this looks really good, you know, what she's about to say in her video. So I went and I listened to her video, and yeah, I was right. Like, the whole vibration of her video was coming through her text even. I was like, yeah, how deep are we willing to go was her vlog. And I'm going to actually pop it into my blog. So I'm going to put this video and her video on my blog, so you can see what I mean by how, yeah, it's really good analogy that she came up with and shared today. And, auto-suggestion, I mean, that you have full control over what you're thinking and what you place in your environment. So are you willing to take care of your mental garden is up to you. It really is up to you. And we don't need to be afraid of those who are feeling not so healthy and choosing pessimistic viewpoints, but it is best to avoid them, especially if you're not feeling so strong. Avoid them just so they don't, get weeds into your mind. But also just send compassion their way. We don't need to be, as Jesus once said, chopping our arms and legs off, because we're all human and we're not perfect all the time. And if we have enlightenment, well, thank God for that, right? But it is not a guarantee all the time that we feel enlightened and always consciously clear. And sometimes we need a helping hand and people to believe in us even when we're not believing in ourselves. So yeah, what Dawn was saying is really sweet. I'm going to put the link to my blog in the bottom up here, and I'll also put the link to Bliss Warriors in the bottom if you're interested in doing this type of worldwide healing and cosmic entrepreneurship together. You can join our group. So how deep are we willing to go? And I would say autosuggestion is, as Napoleon Hill said, the third step towards riches and richness and wealth, and in a healthy way, in a balanced way, in a generous way. The truest idyllic lifestyle that you envision, you dream yourself to be. How deep are you willing to go with this vision in actualizing it? And creating these auto-suggestions on a daily basis is like a surefire way to keep yourself, no matter what kind of emotions or mental or even physical blocks that you come up against. How deep are you willing to go? Can you grasp the concept of autosuggestion? What are you telling yourself in your mind? Are there any weeds in there that are totally, really suicidal to your life existence? And even a little tiny self-destructive thought can almost get you going like that and hard on yourself. So you don't need to take that direction. You can actually walk in a different direction and clear out those weeds in your mind and influence yourself in a positive way. So I wish you a very lovely summer day. It's summer here in Vancouver. It's July. And, you're blossoming on some level just by watching this video. I know you're blossoming. And I hope that I am providing positive autosuggestion for you right now.